And Marwan Bishara is Al Jazeera's senior political analyst. He joins us now by Skype from London. And Marwan, I suppose there is a concern about whether Israel and Hezbollah will orchestrate this sort of controlled escalation, or whether or not we're at the point where that might change.
Actually, judging from statements on both sides, they seem, I hate to use the word relieved, but they do seem a bit relieved that this was the end of that for the day, a bit like Zaina has reported, in the sense that something was coming, it came. And I think we're sort of back to business as usual, or back to our, as someone said, back to our regular war, back to our regular programming, with the war on Gaza and the war on Lebanon being limited. But, of course, the war on Gaza, or the genocide, continues to unravel. In fact, if anything, reports from Israel speak of Netanyahu being relieved in a way where he doesn't really feel, if this is the regionalization, if this is what Hezbollah has in mind, then he can go on and continue to obstruct the ceasefire negotiations in Cairo, that he is, feels more assured that Israel can continue to procrastinate without having to pay much of a price.
And so does that then give him that much more confidence in terms of pursuing open-ended, deepening occupation of Gaza?
I think that's what it seems to be, at least this afternoon. We are 24-hour news channel, right? So we're talking about now, post the preemptive strike and the strike on Israel. There's a sense that, first of all, the delegation, the Israeli delegation in Cairo doesn't have much of a mandate, it seems, to actually negotiate a serious deal, or seriously negotiated deal. Although there is a high-ranking American, Egyptian, and certainly a Qatari presence now in Cairo, but the Israeli delegation has not been given enough authority by Netanyahu, and it seems like they might actually get back to Israel today, tomorrow. But according to the Israeli reports, there isn't much of a breakthrough because Netanyahu just is not allowing it. He's not allowing any serious discussion. Why do I say serious discussion? Because apparently, for example, the Israeli delegation presented something like, we will allow a certain number of Hamas fighters, injured ones, to leave Gaza if Hamas agrees to Israeli military presence in middle of Gaza, in Netzarim, and in the south of Gaza, in the Philadelphia corridor, something that is so ridiculous and beneath discussion by any serious mediator, let alone by Hamas. So I think it seems that the what's happened in the north is not really influencing much of what's happening in the south. In fact, it might be the opposite, in the sense that Netanyahu feels emboldened with the support of the United States to go on with his genocide in Gaza.
Taken all together, though, Marwan, we're reporting today on fears about whether the only functioning hospital in central Gaza will be able to keep treating patients because it's in an area that has been issued with an evacuation order, combined with the deepening repression in the West Bank, and then also a telegraph kind of escalation in the north, in southern Lebanon, where people are also losing their lives. How sustainable is this? Does Netanyahu feel emboldened enough to continue this for the foreseeable future, even if it endangers Israel's own security?
Well, you could say that, again, judging from today's events, that what Netanyahu is trying to do is see if Hamas will blink first. So I'm not sure they're thinking too long-term, because clearly Netanyahu doesn't have an exit strategy from Gaza, except a ceasefire. There is no other exit strategy. You cannot occupy Gaza indefinitely. It's not going to work, but certainly not without Hamas. And quickly, if you notice, the last few days, even weeks, Israel is killing civilians, but Hamas is actually killing and injuring Israeli soldiers. So there's a real resistance against the Israeli military presence in Gaza. So the idea that Israel can just stay there in Gaza indefinitely, it's not possible. That's one. Two, I think the slow death, the hidden death is even worse than what we report in terms of the bombing of this residential building and that school and so on and so forth. It's that death from disease and famine and just the slow death in hospitals and in home. People don't get much of a treatment. They can't get much of a treatment for whatever ails them. I think that slow death is also very hard to report. That's the thing that's really most painful to any observer who's looking at what's happening in Gaza and can only, empathize with the people of Gaza who continue to suffer under this genocide while the complicity between the United States and Israel continue unabated. And any attempt at derailing that from Lebanon, from Iran, from various parts of the Arab world trying to mediate is just not helping the people of Gaza as genocide continues to unravel.
Okay, thank you very much. Al Jazeera senior political analyst Marwan Bishara speaking to us.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.